Laughter bubbles out of me, bright and free, as a growl echoes across the pool. Roar! It roars, its swift hands clapping, water exploding around it. The splash blends in with the shrieks and giggles of other kids playing nearby, diving, splashing, the lifeguard's whistle chirping over the steady hum of summer chatter. I shriek, kicking my floaty-bound arms, trying to paddle away, but it's too quick. Its grin is all teeth and mischief. No escaping the crocodile, Ivory, Kaiki teases, diving under the water. His hands graze my legs again. I giggle, but my smile wobbles, a nervous flutter tightening my chest. He's just playing, I think to myself, bobbing on the sun-warmed water. The sound of other kids playing nearby suddenly feels distant, muffled, like someone slowly turning the volume down. The smell of the chlorine was sharp, burning my nose. A shadow ripples across the pool's floor, bigger than it should be, longer than Kaiki's arms or legs. My throat tightens. Kaiki, I whisper, eyes scanning the surface. A bubble pops beside me, then another. The water around my ankles cools, almost icy compared to the sunlit surface. Something brushes my leg, firmer this time. Grabbing. I jerk away, but the water drags at me, thick and slow. A small, shaky cry escapes my throat before I even mean to. Kaiki bursts up with a splash, eyes widening at my expression. Hey, I'm sorry, Ivory. Just messing around. Didn't mean to really scare you. You're okay, kiddo, Mom calls from the pool's edge, voice as warm as the sunlight. She lounges in a striped chair, a paperback book open in one hand. She watches us over the top of it with a gentle smile. He was gonna eat me, I protest, glancing up at her for rescue. She just grins, silent but amused. Kaiki swims closer, softer now. I'd never eat you, Ivory. I'm a nice crocodile. Plus, you'd taste yucky. He wrinkles his nose. I giggle, the knot in my stomach loosening. Speaking of food, Kaiki peers over at a concession stand in the distance. Wonder when he's getting back with our burgers. And my chicken nuggets. I spin to Mom, excitement sparking. When... She's gone? The lounge chair sits empty, her book vanished. The pool deck is silent. No splashing kids, no humming crowds. My breath catches. The water beneath me darkens, purple and black swirling like ink poured into the deep, morphing blue. Something tugs my leg, hard. Kaiki? I shout. The water churns, thick and writhing. Mommy! Another pull drags me under. Darkness swallows me whole. A sound echoes through the thickening water. A voice. Mom's voice. Soft, unmistakable, but eerie. Don't let it, I hear. I sink deeper, the invisible pull dragging me down. I jolt awake, gasping, heart hammering in the hush of the great forest. Flurry springs upright beside me with a sharp squeak, a strip of her white fur standing up down her back. Ivory, what's wrong? She spurts, between quick, heavy breaths. Just a dream, I mutter, wiping my face, calming my own breaths. Another one. The image of the pool fades, but Mom's echoing voice lingers like goosebumps on my skin. I look up at the dark trees that circle us, their twisted branches curling above like claws. A crackling leaf pile lies beneath me. My hoodie is the only protection against the night's cold. Only now do I realize Flurry, standing upright, is only a few inches shorter than me sitting down. Her warmth beside me overnight had been the only comfort after hours of limping through the forest toward Floria. My ankle throbs. Mom and Luis's absence throbs worse. Flurry's eyes soften. Do you want to talk about it? I shake my head. It's my mom and Kaiki, a friend from home. We were at a swimming pool, and then that thing swallowed me up again. The void? Flurry's ears flick, concern flashing. Yeah, The void. I've. I hesitate as I notice Fleury's concerned look turn into worry and slight despair. I've had nightmares about it for a while, before it brought me here. I rub my face. In my dreams, it's small, not like the giant wall version of it here. I'm always with someone, then suddenly they're just gone, and the void is just there, like it's following me? I finish, a slight question lingering in my voice. Fleury doesn't speak, only offers a sympathetic and worried smile. People say the void takes many shapes. Glue mines are just one of them. Her words stir something in me, but nothing clear enough to grasp. Cold thoughts flicker in the back of my mind. Different shapes? Have I already seen it without realizing it? How many times has it been close? I swallow hard, unsure whether it's fear or recognition twisting in my chest. Silence settles between us. The forest around us seems to be listening, and even as exhaustion pulls me under, thoughts about this place and why the void brought us here remain churning in the fading edges of my mind. I look at Fleury, hearing a tiny yawn as she curls back into her leaf pile. In the quiet hush of the forest, my thoughts drift back to everything I told her during our slow trek beneath the twisting branches, about Louisa, Mom, the hospital room, the crash of machines, the void swallowing us whole. I'd told her everything, every trembling detail I could remember, and Fleury had listened with wide, concerned eyes, offering soft little squeaks whenever my voice cracked. She had told me things, too, about this place, Noctavir, and the villages across its land. Floria, her home, some other villages, and about an elder she keeps hoping we'll be able to talk to. Earlier, when I'd asked about the elder, Fleury admitted she'd never actually seen her. Most people haven't, she had said, her whiskers drooping a little. Long ago, the elder used to travel. She visited the different villages, all the different species, guided them, helped solve big problems. Then she'd added, almost shyly, "That was before I was born. Before even my parents were born, too, I think." That part unsettled me. The elder has been around longer than any creature Fleury has ever known, longer than lives here normally last, longer than what makes sense. But now? Fleury mentioned a bit about a place called Arovia Village. That's where she heard the elder stays shut in. The Noctavir Council travels to her instead. Noctavere's leaders, holding quiet meetings behind closed doors, decisions that ripple through the land without anyone truly seeing who makes them. Fleury mentioned that some animals whisper that the elder has grown tired. Others say weaker. Some believe the elder is gone. Some even doubt the elder's existence in the first place. Fleury didn't know which was true, only that the elder's absence had become normal, like a truth most had accepted without seriously questioning it. What stuck with me most was the way Fleury talked about her, with reverence, hope, and a little bit of what felt like fear, as if the elder was both an answer and a warning. And despite all that, both Fleury and I found ourselves clinging to the same desperate belief. If anyone can help me find my mom and my sister, and maybe help her get her brothers back, it's this elder. If anyone knows how to undo whatever the void has done, the elder would. That's why we're heading to Floria first, to find the council member there, to beg for an audience in Arovia. It's the closest thing we have to a plan, the only thread of hope I have. The forest was scary at first, but Fleury assured me that there isn't anything to be scared of. Animals around here wouldn't harm us. Part of me thought this was all some weird dream I was having again. Large talking hamsters, a forest you'd imagine from a fairy tale, a looming and seemingly living wall of dark purple and black matter slowly and steadily taking what it wants. My swollen and sprained ankle, though, is my constant reminder of the reality of all of this. Now, as the forest sinks into its nighttime hush, the weight of all that hope presses against my chest. Something familiar, something I'm almost afraid to understand. Morning spills through the canopy, warm and gold, like someone slowly lifting a blanket off the world. I sit up, the leaf bed crackling under me. My ankle is stiff and sore, not as sharp anymore, but this heavy, steady kind of pain, like it's waiting there, ready to pounce the second I move too fast. Out of habit, I reach for my backpack. My fingers close on empty air. Right, it's gone. My stomach twists as the image of Mom's tin box flashes in my mind. The cool metal, the way it felt in my hands. Something solid to hold on to in a place where nothing feels totally real. I glance to my side, expecting Flurry in her little leafy nest. But it's empty. Just flattened leaves and a dent where she slept. A jolt of panic stabs through me. Flurry? I spin around too quickly, my ankle flaring. Flurry? I seethe and stammer. I hear a rustling noise in the bushes a few feet out in front of our little camp. Fear instantly engulfs me, adrenaline coursing. Flurry suddenly pops out of the underbrush like a startled rabbit, dragging a leafy pouch twice her size stuffed with nuts and berries. Breakfast? She chirps proudly, the pouch dropping with a soft thud. I let out a shaky breath and actually stifled a laugh. Thanks, I say, picking up one of the dark red berries. Its delicious tart sweetness snaps me fully awake. Flurry settles beside me, nibbling a nut, her tail flicking. Forest's tricky, she says around a mouthful, but generous if you know where to look. Her voice then dips, keeps me busy. She's thinking about her brothers. I swallow hard. My throat feels tight. We'll get them back, I say quietly. And we'll find my family too. I promise her, even though I know far less than she does. We eat in this soft, sad kind of silence, just crunches and little squeaks between us. When we're done, she brushes off her paws and asks gently, "Ready?" I force myself upright, my ankle groaning in protest. Yeah. Flurry drops down to all fours, scampering beside me. Easier this way, she explains. You humans take giant steps. I let out a weak laugh. Sorry. We walked for a couple of hours. I think it's been a couple of hours. I can't really tell what time it is here. Without my phone or a watch, it's nearly impossible. The forest grows thicker, branches twisting above us like dark, tangled fingers. Shadows move in weird ways, like shapes tugging at old memories I don't want to remember. Flurry talks to fill the silence, telling me about Floria's flowery cottages and berry pies and warm lantern lights. Her voice always fell a bit when she mentioned her brothers. I decided not to push. The ground sloped up into a steep hill. By the time we reached the top, sweat beaded at my forehead and trickled down my neck. I lifted my head and froze. Down on the other side of the hill, a wide creek shimmered between the trees, and on the opposite bank, pacing back and forth, was a massive crocodile that stood upright. Its tan, scaly skin slowly shifted as it rubbed its temples with its claws. Fear shoots through me so fast it steals my breath. Flurry scrambles up beside me, panting. She looks down and gasps. Hey! She squeaks, waving wildly. I almost tackle her. Flurry, stop! My harsh whisper cracks with panic. Ignoring me, she cups her tiny paws around her mouth. Kai! The crocodile's head snaps up, his round yellow eyes blinking at us, then squinting sharply. Kai? I echo, confused and still half terrified. Flurry beams. He's a friend. From marshing. I'm not sure friend makes a big crocodile less scary, but her confidence helps my heart slow a little. We hop across the creek stone by stone. Well, Flurry hops. I limp. My ankle screams the whole way, but I grit my teeth and keep going. On the other side, Kai slumps onto a log and hangs his head, his large, webbed crocodile hands clutching the top of his head. His long snout exhales a deep breath. Flurry runs to him, ears perked. I stay a few feet back from her and her large friend. Kai, hey, what's wrong? She asks the large, brown, and upset crocodile. He rubs his eyes. Lost my glasses, he mutters. And the void's on the move again. He sighs. Swallowed marshing. We had to evacuate. Everyone's heading to Floria. I blink. It's moving again? What? Flurry blurts out. He nods bleakly. He stops rubbing his eyes and looks up at us for a second. Oh, hello, human, he says nonchalantly. Then he gestures vaguely around him. I've cleared the creek. Can't find him anywhere. He points back to a pile several feet behind the log where he slumps. Against a large boulder rests a massive rectangular camping backpack, probably his, surrounded by a random collection of large, shiny wet rocks, old utensils, a couple of broken crates, a dripping wet scarf, and a black backpack. My black backpack. I rush to it, ignoring the pain shooting up my leg. It's soaked, dripping water onto the pebbles. I unzip it with shaking fingers, my spare clothes, now soggy granola bars, and the tin box, untouched. I open it to reveal its dry interior and the note perfectly safe, still taped to the lid. Relief floods me so hard I sink to my knees, ignoring the hard gravel bed of the creek shore, tears carelessly flowing. Flurry, it's my backpack, I shout, my voice shaking. She squeaks happily. Kai squints in our direction, confused. I stand up, and as I turn back toward Flurry and Kai, something else in the pile catches my eye. My gaze locks onto a small black shoe with a white stripe. My breath lodges in my throat. I look down at my own matching pair still on my feet, and it hits me. Luisa's shoe. Kai, where'd you find this? My voice trembles as I pick it up, cold water running down and dripping from its heel. He shrugs helplessly. Somewhere along the creek. Hard to tell without my glasses. Hope and fear snarl together inside me, so tight it hurts. This is Luisa's, I say firmly, holding the little shoe like it's proof she was really here, proof she's still close. Kai blinks at it. Who? My sister, I snapped a little too quickly, panic cracking through my voice. Flurry's paw flies to her mouth, her eyes widening. This means she's here. Maybe she could still be somewhere along this creek. Kai squints harder at the shoe, his brow furrowing. Huh, a sister. More humans running around. He mutters something under his breath, too low for me to catch, but something in his face shifts, like a realization he doesn't want to say out loud. What? I ask sharply. He shakes his head. Nothing. Just thinkin'. His tail flicks nervously, and he looks away, voice trailing off. I haven't seen another human. A cold wave rolls through me. So she's not here? You didn't see her at all? I sternly ask a crocodile that could probably eat me in one bite. Kai lifts both clawed hands in a helpless gesture. I swear, I checked everywhere along this creek. If she came through before ya, maybe she kept moving. Maybe she made it to Floria already. Everyone's heading that way after Marshing got swallowed up. His words are meant to help, but they punch the breath out of me. Luisa, scared and alone, wandering through this forest while that void wall just creeps closer and closer. My chest tightens. I slowly fall to my knees. Flurry steps closer, touching my arm with a soft paw. Ivory. Hey, we'll find her, she says gently, looking up at me with those steady blue eyes. We'll check the creek together. You're not alone. I nod, swallowing hard, clutching Luisa's shoe like it's her hand. Kai sniffs and rubs his snout. But before we go tearing off, I really need my glasses. Can't see squat without 'em. Was hoping to be at Floria by now, but... His voice trails off into another sigh. Flurry gives me a tiny, determined nod. I look into her hopeful eyes. We'll help him, she whispers. For a bit, then we go straight to Floria. I look back down at Luisa's shoe. Flurry's tiny paw pulls my face gently back in her direction. Then we'll find your sister. Her eyes glisten slightly as they swell with small tears that don't fall. I manage a small breath and nod with newfound confidence. Okay, yeah, let's do that. We spread out, searching the creek banks. I drift downstream, scanning reeds and rocks, my heart pounding. I tilt my head back toward the bright, cloudless sky. The canopy opens above the creek, letting the sunlight spill straight through. It's the only place in the great forest where the trees don't feel like they're leaning in on you. I still can't tell what time it is, but we've been searching for what feels like an hour. Maybe longer. We've moved down the creek, then looped back up the opposite side. The three of us have spread out 10, maybe 20 yards apart, checking every inch of the shallow water, the banks, the reeds, anywhere Kai could have wandered while coming upstream from marshing. Across the creek, Flurry and Kai start wading back toward the far bank. Their voices drift over the bubbling water, Flurry sounding tired but hopeful, Kai. Not so much. His gruff voice cracks a little, like he's already convinced the glasses are gone forever. The sound hits me harder than I expect. It's strange. I've known him for maybe an hour, but seeing him give up makes something heavy settle in my chest. Then, beneath all the sounds of the creek and the forest, I feel it. A faint, familiar hum pulses through my chest, then fades. I freeze, heart thudding. I glance around the trees, the rocks, the creek. Nothing. No movement, no shadows, no glue mines. Just quiet. I shake my head, trying to ignore the thought of the void and that stupid hum. I swallow, trying to shake the feeling off. Focus Ivory, glasses, Floria, Louisa, one thing at a time. I turn to take one last sweep of the creekside before heading back to Kai and Flurry, when something catches my eye. A large, hollow log near the water's edge, rotted and split open, half submerged. As I step closer to the log, the metal glint forms into a familiar shape. Glasses. They're wedged on a splintered chunk of wood just below the waterline, lenses catching the sunlight like they're signaling me. For the first time in I don't even know how long, something feels like a win. I drop to my knees and lean in. The log is damp and slimy, the moss cold under my hands. I shove my arm into the hollow, twisting and stretching until half my shoulder disappears inside. Water soaks through my hoodie immediately, icy against my skin. My fingers brush metal and slip. I try again. This time I hook them just right and pry them loose. They slide free. Wet, a little slimy, but totally unbroken. A laugh escapes me. A real, relieved, shaky one. I actually did something. I found something. Not Louisa, not Mom, but something that mattered to someone. A tiny, stupid victory, but it sparks warmth in my chest all the same. I wriggle out of the log, push myself upright, and hold up the glasses like a trophy. Kai! Flurry! I call out, excitement bubbling up. I spin around and freeze. A glue mine stands barely a foot away. Its swirling, ink-dark body shifts like smoke in a storm, the scribbled white eyes glowing faintly. It tilts its head at me, slow and unnatural, before its whole form surges forward in a sudden lunge. I shriek and stumble backward, my feet sliding on the wet pebbles. I hit the ground hard, sharp stones scraping my palms. Pain shoots up my ankle as I scramble back, and terror floods my limbs. Behind it, through the trees, another glue mine slinks out of the shadows. And another. Their drawn-on faces shift, mouths flattening into thin white slashes, eyes unblinking, fixed on me. Ivory! Flurry shrieks. Kai barrels through the creek and rams into the glue mine like a freight train, obliterating it into purple smoke. But it reforms just a couple of seconds later. Run! Flurry grabs my sleeve, pulling me as I climb to my feet. We sprint, the void wall now visibly creeping closer from behind the trees, its hum buzzing throughout my entire frame. Glue mines hover at its edge, watching, waiting. My backpack bumps against me with every step, the tin box safe, Luis's shoe tucked inside like a promise. We don't stop running until our legs give out and we collapse against a cluster of mossy logs, gasping for air. My lungs burn, my ankle throbs, and I can barely hear anything over the pounding in my ears. I twist around, searching between the tree trunks and shadows behind us, then the stretch of forest leading back toward the creek, just waiting for a glue mine to lurch out after us. But the woods are still. The glue mines are gone. Through a thin break in the trees, I catch sight of the void wall again, its purple-black haze pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. It stopped moving for now, but not until it had already passed the creek and crawled up the far side of the creek bed. Kai squints at me through blurry eyes. I hold up the glasses. My heavy breathing breaks up my words. These found them before attacked. His jaw drops, and he snatches them gently. No way. Thought I'd lost these forever. He slides them on and blinks rapidly, and sighs loudly in relief. Much better, he said with a large grin. He looks down at me, and his big grin fades to a soft, humbled one. The thanks, Ivory, he grumbles with genuine gratitude. I smile up at the happy crocodile and nod, then look back toward the direction of the creek off in the distance. My smile fades as I swallow and ask with slight hesitation. About the void, what exactly is it? Kai and Flurry share a tense look. I looked down at my dirty, wet hands, then I remembered what happened back at the creek. I thought I was a goner. Kai ran right through a glue mine and took it out for a moment. I wipe my palms on my damp hoodie and look at Kai. Back at the creek. How did you do that? I ask. You ran right through that glue mine. It exploded into, nothing for a second. Is there a way to actually fight them? To stop them? Or destroy the void? Kai shakes his head, jaw tightening. Ain't a real way to stop 'em, he mutters. We've tried. Clubs, claws, fire, the Arovian army, everything. You can knock a glue mine apart, sure, but they reform. Always. Don't matter what you hit 'em with. Flurry wraps her paws around herself, tears gathering in her eyes. They're unstoppable. A sob squeaks out of her, tiny and heartbreaking. My chest aches. I pull her into my side, her soft fur trembling under my hand. We'll find a way, I say automatically, even though we both know I don't know even half as much as they do. Kai stares at the forest floor, glasses glinting dully. And it's happening more too, he mutters. The void, it's starting to move again, more often than before. A cold shiver crawls up my arms. Why? I ask. What's making it move faster? Kai just shakes his head. No idea. Nobody does. But maybe the council will know something. They've studied the void since the beginning. If anyone's got answers, it's them. A spark flickers in my chest, small but real. Then let's go, I say, beginning to push myself upright as my ankle protests. Kai stands, his scales shimmering in the dim light, and extends a clawed hand to help me up. I take it, wincing as I straighten. You're not gonna eat me, right? I try to joke, but my voice comes out thin. Kai jerks back as if I had just slapped him. What? A human? No, you'd taste yucky. His snout wrinkles in genuine disgust. A weak laugh slips out of me despite everything. But the forest around us feels darker than before, twisted shadows shifting with the void's distant heartbeat. Floria lies somewhere out there through the trees, a tiny sliver of safety, a chance for answers.